Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna. Is anybody on the call? Hare Krishna Mataji. Is there anybody who's on the call? Hare Krishna. రికార్డింగ్ అయితే స్టార్ట్ అయింది.
ఓకే, అయితే మన ఇద్దరం చదివేసుకుందాం రా.
కాదు, గోవర్ధన్ లీలా మాతకి 2 minutes ముందేమో నాకు కాల్ చేసి నేను రీడింగ్ అటెండ్ అవ్వాలని పెట్టేశారు ఆర్డర్.
ఓ
2 minutes ముందు ఆవిడ కాల్ చేసి రీడింగ్ అటెండ్ అవ్వాలని పెట్టేశారు. సో ఆవిడ కూడా జాయిన్ అవుతున్నారు, శాంతి మాతాజీ కూడా జాయిన్ అవుతున్నారు నాకు తెలుసు, ఎందుకంటే శాంతి మాతాజీ ఆవిడకి కాల్ చేశారు. రికార్డింగ్ అయితే స్టార్ట్ అయింది. అదైతే వాళ్ళకి ఒకసారి కాల్ చేస్తా.
ఓకే, నేను చేయనా ఎవరికైనా ఫోను?
లేదు, అసలు వాళ్ళు జాయిన్ అయ్యారో లేదో కనుక్కుంటా.
సరే.
వాళ్ళిద్దరూ మాట్లాడుకుంటున్నట్టు, అందుకు నేను స్టార్ట్ చేయలేదు. మనం స్టార్ట్ చేసేద్దాం. ఓం అజ్ఞానాతిమిరాంధస్య ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः।
श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद
श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृन्द। हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवति उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। Okay, so I think today is Prabhala Madhuri Mataji's turn to read, and I don't know if she has joined yet, but maybe one of us can start reading.
She sent a message saying she's not able to join on the WhatsApp group. She said that she wasn't sure whose turn it is to read, but she's not able to join.
Okay, so one of us, like who has the book in front of them, maybe can read. We are supposed to cover 31 and 32. Sorry, 30 and 31 today.
Yeah, because yesterday no one got on the call, correct? Or was somebody, I don't know, because...
Okay, so it was 28, 29, 30 and 31. 28, 29, 30, 31. That's what we are supposed to read then. Okay,
that was
I'll start
yesterday.
with 28.
Okay, so which one is it, Mataji?
28.
28. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Canto 3, Chapter 2, Text 28.
Okay, I'm there.
Govardhan Leela Mataji, would you like to read? And then
Yes, I would.
I think we are four of us. Four of us can read 4 verses.
Okay, very good. Kumarin darshayam cheshitam prekshan iyam vraja ukasam rudan iva hasan mugda balasimava lokana. Translation. When the Lord displayed his activities just suitable for childhood, he was visible only to the residents of Vrindavan. Sometimes he would cry and sometimes laugh just like a child, and while doing so, he would appear like a lion cub. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. If anyone wants to enjoy the childhood pastimes of the Lord, then he has to follow in the footsteps of the residents of Vraja, like Nanda, Upananda, and other parental inhabitants. A child may insist on having something and cry like anything to get it, disturbing the whole neighborhood, and then immediately after achieving the desired thing, he laughs. Such crying and laughing is enjoyable to the parents and elderly members of the family. So the Lord would simultaneously cry and laugh in this way and merge his devotee parents in the humor of transcendental pleasure. These incidents are enjoyable only by the residents of Vraja, like Nanda Maharaj, and not by the impersonalist worshippers of Brahman or Paramatma. Sometimes when attacked in the forest by demons, Krishna would appear struck with wonder. But he looked on them like the cub of a lion and killed them. His childhood companions would also be struck with wonder, and when they came back home, they would narrate the story to their parents, and everyone would appreciate the qualities of their Krishna. Child Krishna did not belong only to his parents, Nanda and Yashoda. He was the son of all the elderly inhabitants of Vrindavan and the friend of all contemporary boys and girls. Everyone loved Krishna. He was the life and soul of everyone, including the animals, the cows, and the calves.
Mataji, would you like to share something based on what you...
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not quite sure why he appears like a lion cub, but anyway, so basically what it's saying here is that if we want to enjoy these childhood pastimes of Krishna, we have to follow in the footsteps of the residents of Raj. Like Nanda, I'm not sure who Upananda and other parental inhabitants. The parents.
Upananda is a brother of Nanda.
Ah, okay. So how does Krishna act? He acts like a child in this scenario. If he wants something, we all know this from our own childhood. We want something, we cry until the parents give us what we want. And everybody knows about it. We're screaming loud and making noise in the neighborhood. And as soon as we get the thing that we want, we start laughing. We got what we want. And crying, and then immediately after that, we start laughing. It's really silly. But it's what the parents of Raj, this is what they like. And all the members of the family, they find it enjoyable because he's like a little child. And so he's not doing anything to be malicious or anything like that. He's just a child and he wants what he wants. But people who, I guess, are impersonalist, or they don't have a personal relationship with the Lord in this way, probably in the parental capacity, would not be able to comprehend that this could be the Lord performing these types of pastimes. I mean, that's what I'm getting, that only the residents of Raja, okay, people who understand, well, like I said, impersonalists would not understand this. And Krishna would not, it was amazing because here he's playing like a child and then the next minute he's killing some demons. So he would get attacked in the forest and then he would be, he would look like a lion, the cub of a lion, and then he would kill them. So we know that Krishna kills demons, not just, Krishna as an adolescent, but Krishna as a child. And all his companions would be like, whoa, this is amazing. How could he do this? And they would tell their parents the story, and everyone appreciated these qualities. And Krishna not only belonged to his parents, Nanda, it's Nanda, right? And who else? And Yashoda. But he belonged to all of the inhabitants of the whole Vrindavan. And so, and all the boys and girls that were there too in Vrindavan. He belonged to all of them, and everybody loved him. And so, and of course, not just the living entities that look like us, but also animals, cows, calves. Everything they say in Vrindavan is alive. So even inanimate objects are alive. And my understanding then is I remember my Guru Maharaj was relating a story like this where Krishna was with the cowherd boys and he would, play with them and they're all having a great time. Then all of a sudden Krishna would do something like miraculous that nobody else could do. And they would say, oh, so what are you? The Supreme Personality of God. No, he would say, I'm the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It was like a joke. And they would say, oh, you are? Oh, yeah. And they would all start laughing, and then they wouldn't bring it up again. It was like, it's like they know it, but I think you pointed this out. Yoga Maya makes them forget temporarily when they're in the middle of these pastimes who is that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, so that they can enjoy the pastimes together. And this is the potency of Yoga Maya that does that. So it kind of reminds me of when Chandramauli Swami was saying that. He said, they're all sitting there, and he says, I'm the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And they go, oh, really? Come on. And they all go, ha, 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 and they're all laughing. And then they just move on to the next thing. It's no big deal. So, and I would think that that's why they would do that. So that's all I have on that.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. Shanti Mataji, would you like to read the next verse?
Mataji, I don't have book with me. I'm in the kitchen. So
What do you say? You don't have the book with you? Then?
sorry?
I did not hear the full sentence. I only heard, I don't have the book with me.
Yeah, I don't have the book with me.
Full stop. After that, you didn't say anything. Okay. So, Primarisa, would you like to read?
Yeah, sure. So this is text 29. The eva gotanam lakshya niketam pita visham charayan anugan gopan ranadvenor ariramat. One second, I don't have my specs. I'll bring it. Just a second. I kept it on there.
Is it correct what I said, Leela Manjari, by that Yoga Maya potency that they would forget?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever you said was perfect.
Okay.
Okay. So translation. While herding the very beautiful bulls, the Lord, who was the reservoir of all opulence and fortune, used to blow his flute, and thus he enlivened his faithful followers, the cowherd boys. Purport. As he grew to 6 and 7 years old, the Lord was given charge of looking after the cows and the bulls on the grazing grounds. He was the son of a well-to-do landholder who owned hundreds and thousands of cows, and according to Vedic economics, one who is considered to be rich by the strength of his own store of grains and cows. With only these two things, cows and grain, humanity can solve its eating problem. Human society needs only sufficient grain and sufficient cow to solve its economic problems. All other things but these two are artificial necessities created by man to kill his valuable life at the human level and waste his time in things which are not needed. Lord Krishna, as the teacher of human society, personally showed by his acts that the mercantile community or the Vaishyas should herd cows and bulls and thus give protection to the valuable animals. According to Smriti regulation, the cow is the mother and the bull is the father of the human being. The cow is the mother because just as one sucks the breast of one's mother, human society takes cow's milk. Similarly, the bull is the father of human society because the father earns for the children just as the bull tills the land to produce food grains. Human society will kill its spirit of life by killing the father and the mother. It is mentioned herein that the beautiful cows and bulls were of various checkered colors: red, black, green, yellow, ash, etc. And because of their colors and healthy smiling features, the atmosphere was very enlivening. Over and above all, the Lord used to play his celebrated flute. The sound vibrated by his flute would give his friends such transcendental pleasure that they would forget all the talks of the Brahmananda, which is so praised by the impersonalists. These cowherd boys, as will be explained by Sukadeva Goswami, were living entities who had accumulated heaps of pious acts and thus were enjoying with the Lord in person and were hearing his transcendental flute. The Brahma Samhita 5:30 confirms the Lord's blowing his transcendental flute. Venum Kvanantam Maravinda Dalayatакшам Varhavatam Sammasitam Buddha Sundarangam Kandarpakoti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindam Madipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. Brahmaji said, I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who plays on his transcendental flute. His eyes are like lotus petals. He is decorated with peacock plumes, and his body color resembles a fresh black cloud, although his bodily features are more beautiful than millions of cupids. These are the special features of the Lord. Such a beautiful purport. So in this verse, we are hearing how Krishna, he herds the beautiful bulls and he is blowing his flute that enliven all his followers, the cowherd boys. So actually I was remembering, I don't exactly know, there are different ages of the Lord that describe that he is described in different names. I think this one, the first one is I think Bal. You remember Lanika? What are the different names and ages? There is Pauganda, there is Kaishore, and then there is there are 4 names, right?
No, I don't remember.
Yeah.
I remember Kishore.
Yeah, I also only remember. And Kishore is the age when Krishna is like 10 to 12 years or something like that, right?
Something like that.
Yeah. So this age that we are talking here is before when he was the Kishore age. So at that time he took charge of the cows. Actually, there is a beautiful pastime of Yashoda Mai. So when Krishna was 4 years old, he wanted to go herd the cows. And he was so small that Yashoda Mai was very concerned. She didn't want him to go to herd the cows. So she tells him that, no, you cannot go now. But he insists. Like in the previous verse we were hearing, he's crying like a child. So he was crying like that. And then he was saying, no, I have to go. And then he says, so he was just going barefoot. And Mother Yashoda brings shoes for him. And then he says, no, I cannot wear these shoes. She says, oh, your feet are so tender and so soft. If you go into the forest to herd the cows without shoes, your feet will get hurt. You may get, like there are so many thorns and pebbles, and so your feet will get hurt. And then she says, and he says, no, I cannot wear shoes because all my cows don't have shoes. So I cannot wear shoes without them having shoes. And then it is described that after Krishna said this, all the cows, those 900,000 cows that Nand Maharaj had, all of them got shoes because Krishna was not willing to go without shoes. Then there is another pastime also where Yashoda Ma, she actually gives, because it is cold in Vrindavan. Actually, we went this time and it's not like winter. We went on very close to spring, but still it was so cold in Vrindavan. So Vrindavan actually gets very cold. So Yashoda Mai, she actually brings and she gives a black mm, chadar kind of a thing for Krishna to stay warm. So there are also like beautiful paintings where Krishna is actually wearing that black chadar and then she is going and hurting the cows. So it says a lot, like in the previous words we are hearing, there is a lot of parental affection. Just actually all the different races, the 5 races we can see in Vrindavan. There is this cowherd boys who have a friendship, the uh, and then the gopis have conjugal rasa. Then Nanda Maharaj and other the elderly gopis, they have a parental affection for Krishna and so on. So so then there is this point that Prabhupada makes. He says that um, when somebody is considered rich when they have lot of grains and cows. I heard also in different lectures of Prabhupada where he says that these days people considered rich when they have cards which are made of plastic and money which is made of paper. But in reality, the credit card which is made of plastic, it actually holds no value. If we sell a credit card, we won't get anything in return. But in the olden days, people were considered wealthy when they had huge pieces of land, they had real gold in their house, they had real silver in their house, something that is very tangible. And then they had these cows, they had a lot of grains in their house that they would, it was called barter system. So one would give grains and then they would get something else in return. So it was also that makes me feel like it's a very personal kind of a relationship that people used to hold. All the different varnas they were interdependent on each other. So it was like a very every village, all the villages they knew each other and very very sweet, loving exchanges amongst themselves. Unfortunately, these days having ATMs and taking the money and having these credit cards and cell phones and everything, it just makes the whole society very impersonal. People they feel that uh, they're not dependent on anybody. They can just live on their own. But it is not true. Actually, the nature of a human being is to live in the society with everybody else. So Prabhupada is making that point that just by having those grains and cow, it can actually solve all the problems of human society. I think in Ishopanishad or in Nectar of Instruction, I cannot remember. I think it's Nectar of Instruction. Prabhupada says that just by having cows at home, just milk, we can make so many preparations out of milk. Just that one ingredient that and it's so nutritious and like it's like this magic ingredient. So just by having cows at home, one can actually live without anything else. Like cow provides the needs that one will need for food. So, and then he says that it is important as Varnashrama Dharma for the Vaishyas to take care of animals. And then this interesting fact he's talking about how a child gets milk from the breast of the mother. Similarly, we all are getting milk from the cow, so it's called the mother. And then there is the bull, which tills the land, and because of that, the grains are formed. So therefore, it is called the father, because the father also earns grains for the family. And then it's described how those 900,000 cows were so beautiful. Like they had so many different colors. They were in red. And also it is described that the cows and the bulls, they had unique features also. And according to those unique features, their names were there. Like one or two of them, I remember, like they had something called like Mridanga Mukhi. So they had a face which was elongated like a Mridanga. So they used to call the cows Mridanga Mukhi. Then there were cows which were, like here it is mentioned that they have different colors. Then they had cows with spots on them, like white with black spots. And so the whole, the cowherd, the boys, when they took the cows, like it was a very colorful and enlivening atmosphere. And then we know this is the very celebrated melodious flute of Krishna that can attract the heart of anybody. So he says that even Brahmananda is actually the bliss that one feels when one merges into the Brahman. So the impersonalists, they say that it's the highest pleasure. But this transcendental flute of Krishna and the pastimes of Krishna, they're actually so mesmerizing that this bliss that the impersonalists talk about, it actually doesn't stand anything before that. I think it is Bilvamangal Thakur who says, this is from Nectar of Devotion, he says that the Brahmananda, the personification of that, it comes and stands at my door begging me. But the transcendental pleasure of the pastimes of Krishna is so high that nobody even cares to look at Brahmananda. Like that's how, like so many more times one feels the pleasure by hearing the pastimes of Krishna. And then there is this description that we hear every day morning during Darshanarti. So we sing this. Yamuna Mataji actually sings, and this is played in all the temples of ISKCON. The beautiful description of Krishna, where it is said that Govinda is the primordial Lord, and he plays on his transcendental flute. His eyes are like lotus flowers, like very beautiful, and is decorated with peacock plumes. The color of his body is just like the black cloud, and his bodily features is more beautiful than millions of cupids. Actually, Cupid is the deity who evokes sex desire. So Cupid is considered very, very beautiful, very, very gentle, very beautiful, extremely beautiful features he has. But Krishna's features are millions of times more beautiful than Cupid. So that's what is like mostly described in this verse. Thank you, Premalika, for a very beautiful description.
Okay, so today Lata Mataji has also joined us. Mataji, would you like to read the next one? Yeah, you can read, Mataji. I will hold the phone close to you.
Prayuktan Ucha Rajna. I think you should read that because
it's okay, Mataji. We all read like that only. We all don't know Sanskrit. We do our best. That's it.
Do you say A?
Yeah.
Maina Kama Rupina Lilaya Vayan Nadat Dams and Balaha Kridanan and Aiva Priyutan.
You can read the translation.
Okay, translation. The great wizards who were able to assume any form were engaged by the king of Persia,
Kamsa.
Kamsa. Yeah. Okay, Kamsa. To kill Krishna, but the course of his pastime, the Lord killed them as easily as a child breaks dolls. The purport: the atheist Kamsa wanted to kill Krishna just after his birth. He failed to do so, but later on got information that Krishna was living in Vrindavana at the house of Nanda Maharaja. He therefore engaged many wizards who could perform wonderful acts and assume any form they liked. All of them appeared before the child Lord in various forms like Aga, Baka, Putana, Takata, Trinavarta, Tinuka, and Gardaba. And they tried to kill the Lord at very opportunity. But one after another, all of them were killed by the Lord, as if he were only playing with dolls. Children play with toy lions, elephants, boars, and many similar dolls, which are broken by children in the course of their playing with them. Before the Almighty Lord and powerful living being is just like a toy lion in the hands of playing child. No one can excel God in any capacity, and therefore no one can equal to or a greater than Him. Nor can anyone attain the stage of equality with God by the kind of endeavor Jnana, Yoga, Bhakti are three recognized processes of spiritual realization. The perfection of such process can lead one to the desired goal of life in spiritual value, but that does not mean that one can attain a perfection equal to the Lord's by such endeavors. The Lord is the Lord at every stage. When he was playing just like a child on the lap of his mother, Yasoda Maya, or just like a cowherd boy with his transcendent friends, he continued to remain God without the slightest diminution of his fixed opulences. Thus, he is always unrivaled.
Unrivaled.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Unrivaled.
So, Matri, would you like to say something?
It is about the big people, the jealous people, who just try to kill Krishna by many means. But Krishna is a Lord, and he would not be killed like a dolls or a children break the dolls like that. Is Almighty God. How to express?
In all circumstances. He's the Almighty God in all circumstances.
Yeah,
even though he's a small child.
Yeah, yes. And I'm sorry. I don't know how to exactly interpret, I don't find better words a better meaning, the powerful living being, just like a toy lion in the hands of a playing child. Should I say the Krishna was that powerful a being? That's what I say.
No, actually, they're just giving an example here. They are saying that, sometimes children play with toys, like a toy lion or a toy
Yeah.
bull or something. And while they're playing, sometimes they throw the toys and the toys are broken. So although the demons who came to kill Krishna were so powerful, Krishna could kill them and break them just like children break toys. So that's the comparison that's being made here.
So, but no one can win in any means or any capacity. So no one would be equal or a greater than Lord Krishna. What is endeavor exactly? What is the meaning of this word?
Endeavor? Endeavor means to try to do something, to practice.
So nor can anyone will be attain the stage of equality like a Lord Krishna. They can be successful killing the Krishna. What is the endeavor for that?
Endeavor means like someone who's trying to achieve something.
So whoever is trying to kill the Krishna could not have been successful no matter what, because they are dealing with the Supreme Personality. It's not Jnana, Yoga, and Bhakti. These are all three are helping with one's spirituality. So this is the recognized process of spiritual realization. In achieving the perfection or in such kind of processes will lead desired goal of life in spiritual value. Human being achieving or following, understanding all this and recognizing all these spiritual realizations, Jnana, Yoga, Bhakti. One can achieve goal of life in spiritual value. The spiritual value is a very debatable word. It's very, very debatable word. So, in short, but at the same time, one is not able to attain the perfection equal to the Lord by such endeavors. I mean, he is a supreme personality. Nobody can beat him. So, nobody can achieve what the Lord has. The Supreme Personality is the Supreme Personality in every stage, in many ways. A human life, different stages, different conditions, there are lots and lots of things in the world, in human being life. So, Supreme Personality is the Supreme Personality. He is a God in every stage. And when he is being a child, when he is playing in Mata Yasoda sleep, or just like a cowherd boy, and transcendental friends, and so I can very much explain that. In every way, he continued to remain God. And he is, I really cannot very well explain because I don't know. I mean, both the sentence, last two sentences, because I have to think a lot for the appropriate word. English is not my language.
No, Mataji, whatever you said was very nice.
So you can explain these two lines.
Actually, when they are saying transcendental friends, it just means like the other boys are not like people from this world. They are his special friends, completely spiritual. Because of their affection for Krishna, they become completely spiritual. So that's the meaning of that. And he has 6 opulences. 6 opulences are, and these 6 opulences cannot be found in any other person. It can be found only in Krishna in full completeness. So the 6 opulences are beauty, strength, fame, knowledge, renunciation, and one more. Beauty, strength, rich. He's all rich. He's all beautiful. He's all powerful. He's all rich. He's all famous. He's at the same time he has all these things, but he's completely renounced.
Yeah.
So in every way, nobody can ever become equal to God.
Yes.
That's what they're trying to say. Like, thank you, Mataji. They explained it very nicely.
Thank you.
Okay, text 31. So this does not have a purport, so I'm just going to read it. I'm sorry, Mataji. I'm so sorry. So, text 31. Pipanandisha panena nigrahya bhujagadhipam gadhipam uthapaya payayad gavas tattoyam prakriti sthitam. Translation. The inhabitants of Vrindavan were perplexed by great difficulties because a certain portion of the Yamuna was poisoned by the chief of reptiles, Kalia. The Lord chastised the snake king within the water and drove him away. And after coming out of the water, he caused the cows to drink the water and proved that the water was again in its natural state. So this is a pastime that I really like. When I went to Vrindavan with my spiritual master, he takes us to all the places where Krishna performs his pastimes. So there is Kalya Ghat. So after Krishna left this planet, for several years,
the places where he performed all his leelas were lost. Nobody knew. People knew that this is Vrindavan, but they did not know the exact spot where Krishna performed his pastimes. So, but today those pastime places exist. So how is it possible? How did they come to know? The thing is that anything in spiritual life can be understood by spiritual intelligence. In material life, we use material intelligence. But in spiritual life, we need spiritual intelligence. So when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna appeared again 500 years later as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he told his closest followers to go and excavate these places of pastimes of Krishna. He himself went to Vrindavan and he identified some few places. That okay, here is Radha Kund, here is Sham Kund, and he identified some important places. But some of the deities and some of the places of pastimes were also found by Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami. All of them also went to Vrindavan and they found the deities that were established by the grandson of Krishna after Krishna passed away. Those deities are still there in Vrindavan. Some of them were moved to Jaipur because some of the kings attacked those temples. Muslim kings attacked those temples, and in order to save those deities, they were sent to Jaipur under the protection of a king. His name was Jai Singh. So the whole city of Jaipur is known as Jaipur because of Jai Singh. So, and if we go to that place, there is a place called Kalia Ghat, very close to where the ISKCON temple is. So at Kalia Ghat, Maharaj explained that Kalia was such a stubborn snake. And he was in the lake, and like any person with material mentality, including us, if we examine ourselves closely, we may find all these characters. So one of the characteristics of a material person is that he thinks that I am this body and everything around me belongs to me. It is for my satisfaction and pleasure. So Kalia was in the Yamuna and he was saying, this is my lake. And what he did was, he was so envious and poisonous that he polluted the whole lake. Nobody could exist in the lake. Not only that, the fumes were so strong that any bird would fly in the sky across the Yamuna, it would just immediately drop from the sky and die immediately. So one day when Krishna was taking the cows to the pasturing ground, the cows came and drank the water. And they were thirsty, so they drank the water, and immediately the cows died, and immediately his cowherd friends also died. Died in the sense that they were poisoned. And what Krishna did was, all he had to do was just glance over them. And immediately they all woke up, they stood up. But now Krishna had to take care of this serpent. So what he did was, he climbed up a tree, Kadamba tree, and he jumped into the water. And he was a small boy. So everybody was terrified because, Kalia with its many, many hoods, it came out of the water. Until then, they knew that there was a serpent, but when it showed its real face, everybody was frightened. And they thought, oh my God, like Krishna is with this big snake. And Krishna was having a good time. He was going round and round and round. Kalia was trying to catch him with his big, big hoods, and he couldn't catch Krishna, and his head was reeling. But in the meantime, all the children ran to Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda and said, Krishna is in danger. Until now, all of them were in danger and called Krishna's name. But now Krishna himself was in danger. So they were all frightened. So they went, and Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda with Balaram, they all came together. And Nanda Maharaj wanted to jump into the lake. But Balaram was holding his father and he said, don't go. The whole lake is poison. And Mother Yashoda, she couldn't handle the sight. She almost lost consciousness because Krishna was her son. And everybody was in so much anxiety about Krishna. When Krishna saw that all of his devotees were in so much anxiety, what he did was he immediately thought, okay, now I played enough. Now what he did was he jumped on the lakes of Kalia, the hoods of Kalia, and he was dancing on the hoods of Kalia, and all the demigods were showering flowers from the sky, because they were seeing that Krishna was playing the flute and nicely dancing on the hoods of Kalia. And but Krishna is so powerful, although he was a small boy, every step on the hood of Kalia was like as if the burden of, these 3 planets was on top of the hoods. So he could not handle it for a long time. Soon, like, blood started coming from his mouth, and finally he understood this is not an ordinary small child. This is somebody else. As soon as he understood that, Kalia had many wives and children. So they came out of the water and they pleaded with Krishna, please don't kill my husband. You are the Supreme Lord. It's all in the Krishna book in the 10th canto. My husband, please forgive him. He made a mistake. And they brought many gifts of silk cloth and garments and garlands and so many things, and they gifted them to Krishna. So Krishna told Kalia, and now you go back. And where did he send him? He sent him to Fiji. There are Fiji Islands. So he was sent to Fiji Islands. Said, you go back there. Now if you go to Fiji, even today, there is a temple of Krishna and Kalia in Fiji. If you go to Fiji, they worship Krishna and Kalia in that way. So he was said, that I came from that place to Yamuna because your bird, snakes are attacked by Garuda. The bird eat the snakes. I was there in Fiji, but your devotee Garuda, he tried to kill me. And he told me, if you come here again, I'm going to kill you. And Krishna said, now Garuda is not going to kill you because on your hoods, he will see the imprint of my feet. So he's not going to kill you. Now you go back and live peacefully with your family over there and don't pollute the Yamuna again. So he was not killed, but he was actually purified by Krishna.
This was the Krishna do. Don't kill, but I would like to say that in Gujarati, I don't remember the whole song. It's a very lovely song that when Krishna jumps, at that time, the Kalia was sleeping. So his wife says that, oh child, please go back, please go away. When my husband, Swami, when our Swami will wake up, he will kill you. So please go away. It's a very lovely song. Maybe I'll Google and get it. Show it to you. It's a very pretty song.
Yeah, actually, Kalia's wives were all devotees of Krishna. That's why, because of their prayers, Krishna does not kill Kalia. All other demons he kills, but Kalia he does not kill because of the prayers. And then, the most beautiful part was, after narrating this whole pastime, Maharaj was explaining that, unfortunately, our hearts are also filled with envy. Envy towards Krishna, envy towards other living entities. Because of our envy for other living entities, we are constantly harming other living entities. We may not know, but the nature of envy is such that we harm other living entities. So he said, we should invite the Lord into our hearts. And then we can tell Krishna, Krishna, please drive away my envy from my heart. Because we cannot drive away these demoniac tendencies on our own. We don't have the strength to change ourselves. But Krishna has the strength. So when we invite Krishna into our hearts, he will drive away all these bad qualities.
Yeah. In every
They'll go to Fiji.
yeah, and in every religion, in even Muslim religion, it is written in everybody's, religious book or Bible or Gita or Muslims Quran that you don't hurt anybody. Even the, what do we say, Muslim priest, or the dignitaries, the religious dignitaries, because I have seen, I've heard on the TV for a whole hour what the religious dignitary and what they said, that our religion say not to kill, not to hurt anybody, but unfortunately, maybe the common people are doing that right now, in the world. That community is the major kind of community is hurting, doing lots of bad things, in the world and in India.
Actually, they are not the religious people, Mataji. They are people who do not understand religion. Because anybody who understands religion will know that at the core of each religion is love for God and all other living entities. They are just using it as an excuse to do all the things that they are doing. They can use any excuse, right? This time they are unfortunately using religion as an excuse to do all the unfortunate things.
And one more thing, we are just talking right now, about the qualities and like that. I know for the fact, I heard it from the Muslim community, my neighbors and other people. They do, 1 time, 3 times, and 5 times in a March, the prayer every day.
Yeah.
But it is in Arabic.
Yes.
They don't know the meaning of that. Absolutely not, because I asked few Muslim, not friends or neighbors, or in a building like that, or I asked few of them. Not even the 3 of them, not even my neighbors. But I asked and I said, "What can you tell me? What is the meaning of a prayer?" And pardon me, but every there is a Aga Khani. They are Muslim, but they believe in person named Aga Khan. They speak Gujarati. The Gujarati speaking Muslim. Every 7 o'clock they get together. It is called Jamaat Khana, means get together. They won't let anybody except Aga Khani Muslims. Their prayer is, pardon me, I'm not criticizing, but sometimes you wonder, their prayer is only for 5 minutes, okay? But they sit there before the 7 o'clock until 9, 10 o'clock, and they chit-chat and they talk. I'm just mentioning, that, sometimes then I think that what is the meaning of 5 minutes prayer? You do things you are not supposed to do. I'm sitting in the Jamaat Khana, in that room, that hall. And that's it.
Sometimes, even just sharing with somebody and having a good time is also love. Because we will not sit and have fun with somebody if we do not love them. So that's not so bad as using Allah's name and going and killing somebody.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because, okay, Mataji. So, any one comment, last comment, because it's already 6:10 before we leave?
Thank you for the nice, beautiful story, and thank you, Lata Mataji, for sharing. I actually
Hare
found
Krishna,
those
thank you.
I found those four pages of Krishna, so I'll just read. It'll only take 1 minute or so. So it says Krishna's age is considered in 3 periods. For his appearance day to the end of the 5th year is called Kaumara. From the beginning of the 6th year to the 10th year is called Pauganda. And from the 11th to the end of the 15th year is called Kaishora. After beginning of the 16th year, Krishna is called Yauvana or a youth, and this continues with no change. As far as Krishna's transcendental pastimes are considered, they are mostly executed during the Kaumara and Pauganda and Kaishora periods. His affectionate pastimes with his parents are executed during the Kaumara stage. His friendship with the cowherd boys is exhibited during the Pauganda stage, and his friendship with the gopis is exhibited during the age of Kaishora. Krishna's pastimes at Vrindavan are finished at the end of his 15th year, and then he transferred to Mathura and Dwaraka, where all his pastimes are performed. And there is then description of his different ages from Nectar of Devotion.
Yeah, thank you, Premarissa. So we
Thank
have
you.
Kishore. He is having pastimes with the gopis.
Yeah, he's in between age 10 and 15, 11 and 15.
Thank you, all of you, for sharing. It was a very nice class today. I really enjoyed it. So I need to go, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
I have another class coming very shortly. I need to be ready for it.
Yes,
Okay.
all the best, Mataji.
Thank you. Hare
Srila
Krishna.
Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Jai.